The air in our bedroom was thick, heavy with the scent of her lavender lotion and something sharper. Something I couldn't name but felt like a blade against my ribs. "Your touch is bothering me," Sarah whispered, her voice slicing through the dark. "Move away." Her words weren't loud, but they landed like a fist, knocking the breath from my chest. I froze, my hand hovering over her arm, the warmth of her skin still tingling on my fingertips. The moonlight spilled through the blinds, painting her face in silver stripes, but her eyes were hidden, turned away. I slid to the edge of the bed, the sheets cold against my thighs, and stared at the wall, where shadows danced like secrets. It wasn't the first time she'd pushed me away. For weeks, her affection had been a flickering signal, warm one moment, then distant like a radio station slipping out of range. I chalked it up to stress. Her new job at the law firm, the late nights, the whispered phone calls she claimed were just work. I'd rationalized it all because love makes you a fool who builds castles out of sand. But that night, her words weren't just irritation. They were a wall, and I was on the wrong side. I grabbed my phone and slipped out of the room, the hardwood floor creaking under my bare feet. Downstairs, the kitchen was a graveyard of dirty dishes and half-empty wine glasses. I poured myself a glass of bourbon, the amber liquid catching the dim glow of the stove clock, 2:17 a.m. My reflection stared back from the window, a ghost with hollow eyes. I wanted to call her out, to demand why her laughter had faded, why her gaze slid past me like I was invisible. But doubt gnawed at me. What if I was wrong? What if I was just paranoid, seeing betrayal where there was only exhaustion? The next morning, Sarah was already gone when I woke. Her side of the bed was pristine, the pillow untouched, as if she'd never been there. A post-it note on the fridge read, "Late meeting. Don't wait up." No love, no hugs and kisses, just her sharp, hurried scrawl. I crumpled it in my fist, the paper biting into my palm. My phone buzzed, her name flashed on the screen. I answered, expecting an apology, a soft word to smooth the edges of last night. Instead, her voice was clipped, distracted. "I forgot my charger at home. Can you bring it to the office?" The drive to her firm was a blur of red lights and honking horns. Downtown pulsed with life, suits rushing past, coffee cups steaming in the crisp morning air. Her office was on the 12th floor, all glass and steel, a world that felt foreign to me. I clutched the charger like a lifeline, weaving through cubicles until I reached her corner office. The door was ajar. I froze. Sarah was laughing, bright, unguarded, the kind of laugh I hadn't heard in months. A man's voice answered, low and warm, followed by the rustle of fabric. My heart thudded, a drumbeat of dread. I pushed the door open. Sarah stood too close to a man in a tailored suit, his hand grazing her elbow. Her blouse was slightly untucked, her cheeks flushed. She saw me and flinched, her smile vanishing like smoke. "Mark," she said, stepping back. "You're here." The man, James, her colleague, I'd met him at a firm party, nodded at me, his eyes cool, assessing. "Just dropping off the charger," I said, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. I set it on her desk and left, the elevator's hum drowning out the blood roaring in my ears. That night I didn't confront her. I cooked dinner, her favorite lemon chicken, the kitchen filling with the sharp tang of citrus. She came home late, her hair damp from a shower I knew she hadn't taken at home. "Long day," she said, avoiding my eyes. I nodded, slicing into my chicken, the knife scraping the plate. The silence was a living thing, coiling around us. My phone stayed quiet, but I kept checking it, waiting for something. A text, a call, a confession. Nothing came. Days bled into weeks. The signs were everywhere now, impossible to ignore. A receipt for a coffee shop she never went to. A faint whiff of cologne on her scarf, musky and unfamiliar. Late-night texts she deleted before I could see. Each discovery was a splinter under my skin, sharp and festering. I wanted to believe she was still mine, that love could outweigh the evidence piling up like unpaid bills. But doubt was a poison, and it was spreading. I started following her. Just once, I told myself, to prove I was wrong. I parked across from her office, the car's heater humming as I watched her leave with James. They walked too close, her hand brushing his as they crossed the street. They slipped into a bar, its neon sign casting a red glow over their silhouettes. I sat there for hours, my breath fogging the windshield, my heart a clenched fist. When she came home, she smelled of gin and lies. My phone rang 50 times that night. I'd left without a word, driving aimlessly until I checked into a motel, the kind with flickering lights and stained carpets. Her voicemails piled up. First confused, then frantic, then angry. "Where are you, Mark? This isn't funny." I didn't answer. I couldn't. The truth was a weight I wasn't ready to carry. The next morning I went back. She was waiting, her eyes red-rimmed, her hands trembling. "I thought you left me," she whispered, and for a moment I saw the Sarah I'd loved. The one who'd danced with me in the rain, who'd promised forever. But then I saw the lie in her eyes, the guilt she couldn't hide. "I know about James," I said, my voice breaking. Her face crumpled, and she didn't deny it. She didn't need to. The silence that followed was louder than any argument. I wanted to scream, to break something, to make her feel the jagged edges of my heart. But I just stood there, the room spinning, the air thick with everything we'd lost. "I'm sorry," she whispered, but it was too late. The betrayal wasn't just her body with his. It was every moment she'd chosen to lie, every time she'd let me believe I was enough. I walked out again, this time for good. The city blurred past, a smear of lights and shadows. My phone buzzed once more, her name on the screen, but I let it ring. The road stretched ahead, endless and empty, and I drove into it, chasing a freedom I wasn't sure I'd ever find.